Hey, this is John Young with the Disc Jockey News and Disc Jockey News TV. Today's Tuesday tip is talking about using a backup power supply, a UPS, an uninterrupted power supply. There's different companies that make these things, but basically what these are those little battery things that have the 110 volt outlets that we use typically on our computer systems and our sensitive devices. Some people are asking, should I use these with my DJ show? Now, Ben Stowe and I on a Tuesday Night with Ben Stowe, you can go to DJNTV.com and click on Tuesday Night with Ben Stowe and see the whole playlist. But Ben Stowe and I talked a little bit about this, and there's some advantages to these. One is sensitive equipment like my iMac on the other side over here. That device is hooked up to one. If during a live show we have some power, we either have a surge or a brownout, where the iMac might just shut itself off, it's not going to, because that UPC will go and basically have the consistent power. It's going to give it the right voltage, and the battery will pick up any low spots, and it will then roll off any high spots, so you're not going to have the problem with the power. Now that would be really cool for a DJ system, but the problem is that they're not meant for high amp draw. They'll handle some. I mean, it'll run my iMac over there. I've got a 27-inch iMac and a couple of small things with it. It'll run that for a few minutes at a time. Maybe it might even push a half hour. I don't even know. I guess I've never had to go that long. But it's not going to be something that I could put my subwoofers into as an example. Some people have run smaller sound systems through them, and they've had levels of success with that for a period of time, for like ceremony or something. The idea is that they're meant for applications of protecting sensitive equipment. They're generally heavy because there's a 12-volt battery in there, or some of them have different voltage of batteries, but there's a heavy battery of some sort in there. So they might be anywhere from 10 to, I've seen some up to about 50 pounds, depending upon the application. The bigger ones, they could be handling more amperage and such, so they might be able to handle evening out the power for your system. Most likely not. So it's not a really great idea for a system-wide thing. But if you don't mind carrying the weight, I mean, there's some smaller ones that are, I don't know, 540, whatever that means. I don't even want to go there for sure. But some smaller ones that would help with your really kind of sensitive. Maybe your controller, you don't want to have it so that if the power goes out, your laptop is probably going to be fine. If you're running a desktop at a show, highly recommend. You need to have something like that, because then if the power drops, your computer is going to, if it goes and back up, your computer is still going to be there. Your controller could be plugged into that. Those two are going to still be talking to each other and thinking nothing's gone on. Your speakers might go out for a second and come back, but at least you wouldn't have to reboot the whole thing. If you have a laptop, most likely your laptop's battery is okay a handle a 10-second, 20-second outage. Maybe you want to put your microphones and your laptop. You can plug the microphones, laptop, and your controller into that, and then that is kind of cleaning the power, for lack of a better way to describe it, and keeping you a consistent power level. Could be attractive. Speakers could go into the walls, lighting go into the walls, and you've got what you've got. Now, the other area that people were talking about using these is trying to use them for that ceremony sound system. Not a great idea. There are ways to do sound systems for ceremonies if you need to go in a remote location and you need to do that without a generator. You can go and get a deep cycle battery, you get a power inverter and plug it all in and hook it all up, and that can run a small sound system for a half hour to an hour. If it's a big deep cycle battery, it can run you 2 or 3 hours, depending upon the volume you're using. Go and get the right gear for the gig. You don't need to be using a battery, a household battery backup that you use in your office and trying to make that work for a ceremony system. It's just not going to work. Some of them have alarms that you cannot defeat on that, and there's so many different variables that it's just not a really good idea to try to use a piece of gear that isn't meant for that application in a situation like that, where failure is going to be hugely noticed and it's going to give you a bad name. If this is your first time of watching one of our Tuesday tips, thank you for watching. We do a lot of great stuff here at the Disc Jockey News and Disc Jockey News TV, including our Monday night convention series show. You can go out to DJNTV.com and check out the convention series and see what the upcoming shows are going to be. If you join as a DJN TV Insider, you're going to get our Facebook group, private Facebook group. You're going to get a lot of private videos that we have up there for educational purposes, and then you also get access to the live convention series shows that happen every Monday night at 9 o'clock Eastern. Again, check it out. Thank you for watching.